Constantine.
Has the voting started? You see, here is the number of votes I have estimated. The pro-drafts will lose by 5 votes to their opponent. Don't forget our bet. The one who loses will pay for the new stamps.
The final vote is not today, I'm afraid. Z's speech is still ongoing. She has just started the part on Article 3, Section 5 of the Rules of Procedure. But the speech has already lasted 7 hours. Even some delegates have left.
What? A filibuster?
Yes, and Katz's speech will be right after that. So, I guess the final vote won't start until tomorrow. That won't make a difference. Delaying the vote won't change the result.
We don't know yet. I didn't expect that she would be trying so hard. But for me, this is not necessarily bad news. The filibuster will only have 2 outcomes. It is either one of the parties wins over 2/3 of support and gains victory, or both parties get stuck in a tug-of-war. If this tug-of-war doesn't end with a clear outcome, the Storm Reformation will end up completely dead and forbidden to be discussed within 5 years. Are the stakes getting too high?
Madam Vice President? Mr. President came back from the Pax House.
I will go see him now.
He's waiting for you in the office.
Mr. President. Good day to you, sir. May the peace be with us.
May the peace be with us.
Are you feeling better these days?
I can still hang in for a few years. Thank you.
Are they doing all right?
Just as usual. Nothing to worry about. I'll stay in the Foundation these months. The agenda is well arranged. There is something more important that I must tell you in person. Batman sama pamayan. Then the more.
This is their judgment.
Yes.
Then I have no objection to it.
Hold tight, my friend.
Excuse me. I have to admit, I was surprised. Thank you for telling me this.
Look at where you are. Paulina also once stood here. A human, a member of the St. Pavlov Foundation. She started from here, took 33 steps and a half, turned left, opened the door, and then turned right, went on for another 5 meters. She stopped and opened the historical intelligence cabinet. For work, sweetheart. Most of the actions we took in most of the time were for our jobs, or for the sake of getting one. She's a good employee, the kind of person who sincerely wishes to contribute to society. Her dedication to work equally applied to events as big as maintaining peace, and matters as trivial as looking through old files. It was the 1931 file, or the 1935 one. She hasn't gotten there yet. But there is another folder which has caught her attention. On December 28th, 1932, on the wonderful day of the Holy Innocents in Mexico, 13 Arcanist High School students attacked the crowd during the nighttime celebration. They claimed the Oracle had uttered to them, from the inside of a gigantic Cordia Eleanoides, that they had to shoulder the responsibility to protect the people. So they took their wands and knives, carried bottles of potion of concocted picric acid and nitrocellulose, and walked into the festival market like any regular happy young people. Their attack led to 17 deaths. 6 were injured, among which 4 were disabled for life. One young girl among the attackers couldn't physiologically stop her hysterical laughter, even when she was under arrest. She quivered convulsively, with her hands twitching tightly on 31-centimeter-long pruning shears. She kept muttering the word Bacoti, which is the common way to call the Cordia Eleanoides among the lumber dealers. In the Aztec civilization, it means giant mouth. Any mouth can talk. In this case of mass hysteria, this was the one true rule. Hysteria, madness, paranoia, hearing voices or seeing things. These abnormalities are the sparks flying in the air, and Arcanists are like dry cotton. The encounter of the two will cause a fire. Paulina complained quietly. She accused the danger of fire, the risk of heat. One can hardly hold no grudges against the flame when it is hidden next to you patiently, waiting. She started to mutter something of a more extreme nature. She was carried away, forgot that each individual has their own right even in a collective body. She forgot what public opinion can do to subtly influence a community. Her eyes were fixed on the scarlet flame. Racist thoughts crept silently into her blonde-haired, beautiful head like a cunning centipede. Fortunately, this is not yet the end of the story. Paulina still had her chances to change. Change. Yes. An alteration. Everybody has to change. You can improve your living standards, pay for prettier white clothes, drive around in a limo painted in bright pink. Anything to prove that you are as much of a man as those tough warriors in ancient Europe. Or you can try the bitter side of life. A life so bad that every weekend you have nowhere to go but lie on a couch hollowed out by your dog and pick your nose. You pick it hard just to locate and take out the hardest, largest booger that irritates your nasal membranes to stop the endless sneezing. The change of Paulina started from a question. A senior staff of the Foundation walked to her, flipping through the pages of the same folder, and asked, "But Paulina, how are you going to deal with the fire?" On the next page, the survivors started a new life under the supportive measures, and the crazy children have left their poor family, leaving the violence and harassment behind, and moved into a sanatorium with white walls. The record of the follow-up visits showed that they have stayed mentally stable since. They learned to calm themselves and overcame drug addiction and alcohol abuse. Some of them were even married. Between the last 2 pages, there lies a thank you letter. The name signed at the end of the letter went on for 2 lines, and the last name ends with a cheerful strike going up, like a smiley face. The fire is always there, Paulina. We need to find a way to live with it, not to extinguish it. Keep them somewhere safe, like a high shelf, and away from the fuel. Watch over the temperature. Maybe teach them to burn in a manner that no one, including themselves, would be hurt. Division and confrontation have never taken this world to a better place, have they? They went on talking for a bit more, about the responsibilities of this job, about personal liabilities, about hatred, about the minorities, about the practices that ought to be taken to realize ideas. Young Paulina had changed. Drops of tears seep out from the bottom of that pair of beautiful green eyes. I shed tears with her, of course. Sadly, I was busy sucking the flavoring powder on chips off my fingers and missed the right moment to wipe those tears off my face. Nevertheless, this is my favorite episode. We should watch it again. Look at where you are. Paulina also once stood here.